Hey, thanks for checking out the video. If you all like it, please like and subscribe, and hope you all enjoy it. Have a great rest of the day.
Got a picture?
Of Ramsours Mill. Please silence all extraneous noise and cell phones, please. There he is. Kevin Alec of the Colonel Alexander Irwin chapter of Sons of the American Revolution will offer up our invocation. Please stand at this time.
Lord, help us to forever remember those guardians who stood in harm's way to protect our loved ones and us. Bless and keep those guardians of liberty and their loved ones, just as they bless us and ours with their service in the name of freedom. Amen.
Amen.
Color Guard Commander, advance colors.
Color Guard, again, hut. Militia, shoulder, furlock. Color Guard, Gary, colors. Mark on, march. Color Guard, at the half step. Forward, march. Militia, present firelocks. Color Guard, present colors.
Betty Schwartz, past regent of John Hall chapter of North Carolina DAR, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color Guard, order colors. Militia, order firelocks.
Compatriot Robert Crum, president of Colonel Daniel Boone chapter of the NCSAR, will lead us in the SAR pledge.
We, the descendants of the heroes of the American Revolution, who by their sacrifices established the United States of America, reaffirm our faith in the principles of liberty and our constitutional republic, and solemnly pledge ourselves to defend them against every foe.
Call guard. Prepare to post. Put them open the hole. Post, colors. Militia, shoulder, firelocks. Call guard, right, face. Forward, march.
We are very pleased to be blessed with such a great color guard from North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. This event would not have taken place without the hard work and dedication of many people. I most certainly could not have made this happen on my own. It was a dedicated effort of our Battle Weekend Committee and all the participants here today. Please allow me to give special thanks to the City of Lincoln, Lincoln County Board of Commissioners, Lincoln County Schools, Lincoln County Historic Properties Commission, Lincoln County Historical Association, without whose help none of this would have been possible. And let us remember today Mr. Darrell Harkey, one of our chapter's earliest members, who was able to begin this commemoration more than 20 years ago and passed away last year. Special thanks are also due today to members of Boy Scout Troop 75 and 76 of Lincoln who are with us today. Special thanks to the landscape work done by these at this site who filled in the holes that were breaking people's legs in times past. Scoutmaster is Teddy Reed, I think, Steve Lundborski, and Terry Carpenter. Also thanks to David Richardson for recognizing the needs. We need to give also thanks to Eagle Scouts Russell Putman of Troop 28 for his work on the amphitheater next to the cabin and who raised new bed herb gardens created for the cabin. We also like to give thanks to Dave Punt for the use of his golf cart at this event. Greetings today. Our first one will be given by George Strunk, Vice President General of South Atlantic District. George?
Good morning, Ben, and welcome everyone to this wonderful event. On behalf of President General C. Bruce Pickett, I bring you greetings from all the members of the National Society Sons of the American Revolution, and we look forward to returning to this, what soon will become the preeminent national event in North Carolina. Thank you very much. If you missed the gala last night, put that on your calendars for next year, the day before. Thank you.
How many of us were there last night for our, it looks like a good group. Yes. I know that there was, I think, 110 tickets sold for that event. And it looks like most of them came today. Sam Powell, Treasurer of North Carolina Society of SAR. Sam?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency. I'm Sam Powell, past State President and Vice President General for the South Atlantic District. And would like this morning to bring greetings for our current state president, Steve Van Pelt, who is traveling in Europe. I want to extend a thank you to the North Carolina Society, SAR and DAR, President Ben Setzer, the Catawba Valley Chapter, SAR, Lincoln County Historical Association, and all of those who have been involved in supporting today's event. I'm pleased to join with you today as we honor the memory of the Patriots, General Griffith Rutherford, Colonel Francis Locke, Captain John Hardin, Captain John Dickey, and other members of the American Patriot Militia in 80. Neither side, Tory or Whig, at this battle wore military uniforms. The only identification of which side you were on was that the Tories, or the Loyalists, wore a green pine twig in their hats, and the Whigs, or the Patriots, wore a piece of paper or flag in theirs. I wear a white flag in my hat today in honor of the Patriots. The war in the South went badly for the Patriots in 1780. On May the 12th, with the fall of Charleston and 3,000 casualties, May the 29th, Buford's Massacre, August the 16th, Horatio Gates lost an army there at Camden with another 2,000 men. And then the turnaround here on June the 20th at Ramsours Mill, where there were some 1,300 loyalists. And then again, October the 7th, Kings Mountain, where there were 1,100 loyalists. The result, the effect of the battle on the British from Ramsours Mill and Kings Mountain was equal to the effort. It was a major victory for the Patriots, and one that cost Cornwallis dearly in his attempt to recruit and train the loyalist ranks of his army. It was a stunning and unexpected blow to the British General Corps, Charles Cornwallis. And these two victories over the British recruiting efforts in the South deprived the British of their ability to maintain their military might. It was a war of attrition. As a result, forcing a British retreat to Yorktown, where on October the 19th, the British Army surrendered to George Washington's American Army. Had the British been able to win their desired victory in their Southern campaign and effectively recruit from the Southern colonies, the outcome of the war in favor of America is doubtful. Today, we honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in the cause of freedom, their last full measure of devotion. We remember their courage and determination, and we honor them for their sacrifices. We also hope to keep alive and pass on their story to future generations. Thank each of you for joining with us today in remembrance of those who fought and died here at the Battle of Ramsours Mill in June of 1780, 243 years ago at this location. Thank you.
Next will be Fran Goins, Regent, Jacob Forney Chapter, NCDAR, who has been instrumental in helping us put this on.
It is an honor and a privilege to be here before you today. I am a direct descendant of Christian Reinhardt and of Jacob Forney, so it seems to me like we're celebrating family today and remembering the choices and the decisions that they had to make 243 years ago. I stand here feeling 243 years old after the gala last night, but I am so honored to be here. Ben, thank you for your hard work. And hopefully, somebody just said there'll be a gala next year, so guess what? There'll be a gala next year.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Bada boom, bada boom. And the program will be as long as it was this year, so just come prepared. Thank you very much for being here.
Is the Mayor Pro Tem with us today? Martin Eady? No? Well, it is my pleasure to introduce to you today's speaker, Bill Anderson, a local historian who actually will put on a tour of the battleground after this is over, if you would like to join in. Please.
It is an honor and a privilege to be here before you today. I am a direct descendant of Christian Reinhardt and of Jacob Forman, so it seems to me like we're celebrating family today and remembering the choices and the decisions that they had to make 243 years ago. I stand here feeling 243 years old after the gala last night, but I am so honored to be here. Ben, thank you for your hard work, and hopefully somebody just said there'll be a gala next year, so guess what? There'll be a gala next year.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Bada boom, bada boom. And the program will be as long as it was this year, so just come prepared. Thank you very much for being here.
Is the Mayor Pro Tem with us today? Martin Eady? No? Well, it is my pleasure to introduce to you today's speaker, Bill Anderson, a local historian who actually will put on a tour of the battleground after this is over, if you would like to join in. Please.
It's a great honor to speak to you today. My family has deep roots in Tryon and now Lincoln counties. It's a pleasure to be here. All the planners of this event should be commended for the wonderful occasion, both last night and today. In this talk, I'm reminded that talks in the past honored specific soldiers who participated in the Battle of Ramsours Mill. I will plan a similar subject, but also I want to focus on the families affected. How many of you in the audience have a relative who participated in the Battle of Ramsours Mill, either directly or indirectly? Just curious as a show of hands. Appears to be about 10-15%. Thank you. A wartime death in a family also changes its members' lives forever. It's tragic. Obviously, I can't cover all those who died in this battle, so I'll mention only just a few representative families. Each of these mentioned, there are 100 others. At the end, I'll tie these stories together in a way that's relevant to today. The Battle of Ramsours Mill was late in the American Revolution. The war started in April of 1775 at Lexington and Concord Bridge in Massachusetts. Here in North Carolina, most residents quickly rallied to the support of the Patriots. In August of 1775, Tryon County proclaimed its famous Tryon County Resolves. Among the signers were Moses Moore, Thomas Espy, Jacob Forney, Jacob Cosner, Samuel Carpenter, and many more. During 1776, there was a common response to the threat from the British invasion off the coast of South Carolina and North Carolina. Likewise, in September of 1776, there was a common response to the Indian attack on the frontier that led to the Rutherford campaign. However, after the Declaration of Independence in 1776, the North Carolina Constitution was created in November of that year. The North Carolina government was controlled by the Whigs, who consolidated their political power. For the most part, loyalists were left out of the government. In April of 1779, Trine County was subdivided into Lincoln County and Rutherford County. Communities became divided, neighbor versus neighbor. Even within families, Lincoln County was particularly divided. For example, in the Plunk family, elderly Plunk Jacob, who had migrated from Germany, was a loyalist, while his son Jacob Jr. was a patriot militiaman. Both of these are buried about 4 miles from here. By the end of 1778, the American Revolution in the North had reached a stalemate. The British planners devised what they call the Southern Strategy. That was to attack the South and solicit support from disaffected loyalists. In May of 1780, the British captured Charleston. They quickly established outposts in upstate South Carolina as near as Camden. Lieutenant Colonel John Moore from Trine County was an officer in the North Carolina Royal Regiment. He was sent to Trine County to instruct the Loyalists how to react to Cornwallis's expected invasion of North Carolina. Moore returned to his father's house, Moses Moore's home on Indian Creek. That's about 7 miles from here. Loyalists assembled at Ramsours Mill, a well-known site. Earlier, Dietrich Ramsour and his 3 sons, John, David, and Jacob, all migrated from Pennsylvania to North Carolina. In about 1771, they built a grist mill on Clark Creek, just below us here, on a tributary of the South Fork River that became a well-known local site in this region. Graves of the Ramsours and the Reinhardt families are about a half a mile on the opposite side of Clark Creek. Among the loyalists who joined was Peter Cosner, age 43. By the 13th of June, 200 loyalists had assembled. Major Nicholas Welch arrived with gold specie to encourage recruitment for the North Carolina Royal Regiment. Meanwhile, in Mecklenburg County, Patriot Brigadier General Griffith Rutherford was concerned of a British invasion coming up from Camden. On the 14th, Rutherford ordered Colonel Francis Locke from Rowan County to attack the Loyalists at Ramsour. The number of Loyalists had increased from 200 to 1,300 at this site. 25% were unarmed. Apparently, some of these Loyalists apprehended 3 SP brothers, Thomas, Samuel, and John, and held them captive here at Ramsours Mill. On the 18th of June, British threat from Camden temporarily diminished, and Rutherford moved his force of 800 men to Tuckasegee Ford on the Catawba River. He sent an express message to Locke ordering him to join at Dixon's Plantation, also near Tuckasegee Ford. However, that message was not delivered. It was lost. On the 19th of June, Locke, acting on his earlier standing order, decided to attack and sent a message to Rutherford that was his plan. During the night, Rutherford received that message and immediately started marching towards Ramsours Mill, 16 miles away. On the morning of the 20th of June, Locke attacked Loyalists on this hill. At first, he probably did not realize that his 400 men were contending with 1,300 Loyalists. In the first attack, Captain John Sloan was killed. He was from Snow Creek area of Rowan County, now Iredell County. Loyalists were pushed off the hill and escaped across Clark Creek, some traversing the Mill Pond Dam. Within 2 hours, Rutherford's larger force of 800 arrived. He directed Colonel William Richardson Davie to disperse the remaining Loyalists on the opposite side of Clark Creek. In this battle, 70 men died. About 40 were patriots. They're all believed to be buried in the mass grave or in the captain's grave on the opposite side of the hill. Among those killed was Peter Cosner, the man I mentioned before, aged 43. Of the men who lost their lives, many families were devastated. All wars are horrible events. Death is random and arbitrary. Many innocents are harmed. Families are ruined. Yet despite these sufferings, in the case of the American Revolution, some principles were institutionalized, including liberty, independence, God-given rights, limited government, balance of power, freedom of religion and speech, and property rights. After the American Revolution, there was retribution. Those who apprehended the Espy brothers had their property confiscated. But in the end, some reconciliation did take place. I mentioned the following families' names: Moore, Plunk, Ramsours, Cosner, Espy, and Sloan. There are many more. Among those families, grandchildren intermarried. One humorous example is Thomas Espy, who took to court and sued Jacob Plunk.
Both last night and today, I can tell you that while I had no cousins that were here, not parents that were here, or children that were here, I can see that I had brothers that were here. It's very much so remembering those who would step forward and risk all that I am proud to stand amongst you today.
We will begin our wreath presentation. Please, if you have chapter secretary, chaplain, color guard. Sam Powell, past North Carolina president and current state treasurer, Alamance Battle Chapter. John Neath, president, Battle of Kings Mountain Chapter.
Don't worry about me.
Fred Learned, past North Carolina president and Bethabara Chapter. Did Fred not make it this morning? Yeah, okay. Gregory Connor and John Elliott, Marquis de Lafayette Chapter. Robert Crum, president, Colonel Daniel Boone Chapter. Steve Green, president, Blue Ridge Chapter. Didn't make it today? Oh.
Shoulder, firelock. Full guard, mark down, march. At the half step. Forward, march. Full guard, mark down, march. Full guard, halt. Militia, left, face. Full guard, left, face. Prepare to retrieve colors. Retrieve colors. Order colors. Militia, present arms. Prime and load. Call guard, present firelock. Call guard, present colors. Militia, make ready. Take aim. Start. Prime and load. Make ready. Take aim. Fire. Prime and load.
$5 for a picture. Oh no, I'm just kidding. I'll sell them to you.
Make ready. Take aim. Fire. Order, firelock. Order,